Hi guys, thanks so much for joining me. This is the very, very exciting video, but also something near to my heart. As you can tell, I already have my makeup done, so it's nothing makeup based, but how's that look? I'm kind of nervous because I'm actually going to be doing a video about basically a video slash letter to my future grandkids. The reason why I started thinking about this idea was because my daughter, Nikita, we were talking about our puppy having babies, and Nikita was saying, oh, we're both, or how'd she say it? Oh, we're both gonna have babies, or we're both pregnant, aren't we? She said something, but I was like, what? It just kind of, everything clicked, and I was like, are you pregnant? And then she said no. You know, she was just, I don't know, she worded it wrong or something, but as you could tell, we word things wrong. That got me thinking, you know, I want to have a grandkid. I want to have a grandkid someday. I just cannot wait. But the more I thought about it, I do tell my kids anytime they ever have a baby that I would be so excited, so happy, and just knew that that's what I wanted to do, was be a grandmother. That was just a huge part of my heart. So I thought it would be a great idea to talk about maybe a little bit about our history, about our family, you know, not too private, but just, you know, certain things. I started looking at what I had saved up throughout the years, and I have a very interesting amount of things. So let's just start with saying that when I was 19 years old, I had no plans of starting a family. I knew I wanted to eventually. I was in college. I was going to Spokane Community College, and I had met my husband. His name is Rick, and I knew right away, instantly, that I wanted to marry this man. I knew right away. It was just a given. Your grandfather, you kids, is literally my soulmate, and I knew right away. And that's one thing that you probably will know down the road when you meet your significant other, is that you usually have a gut feeling right away. Well, I did at least. So needless to say, we had my first daughter, Sasha, when I was 20 years old, and we started our family at a very young age, which I don't recommend because it's hard, but I do want to say that if it does happen and God does bless you with a baby and with a marriage, you know, it's just something that you never plan for, but it's definitely a blessing. I was looking through my stuff and I found the craziest things. Okay, so when I was younger, I was super organized, as you can tell. This is my Jessica and Rick wedding planner. It's called July 24th, Sacred Heart Cathedral, Jessica and Rick Wedding, and it has all these little tabs that I made. And before I get into that, which is super embarrassing, I received this from our church, and it's called Together for Life. I even made the little tabs on this, and there was, you know, certain things in it that I thought was so important in a marriage: correspondence, testimonials, the Old Testament, Gospels, a lot of things that have to do with your spouse. And yeah, I thought that was just super amazing. But okay, so as we open up this book, it shows this is 1999. It says 1999 Rick and Jessica, and it says July 24th at 1 p.m. Sacred Heart Cathedral. Bishop Kanicki would be our pastor, and well, he's a bishop, so Bishop Kanicki would be our bishop. Okay, and I just had everything all planned, a little checklist. And right here is basically the paperwork to get married. And so it's had our names, and this is where it gets a little crazy. Okay, so I had the bridal registry, I had the flowers, my hairstylist is blank, which is kind of weird. I had our groomsmen, bridesmaids, maid of honor, best man, and if they said yes or no. The gifts that we ended up getting, I wrote down what they were, and yeah, that's page number 1. The second page, okay, this is where I got my dress, floral arrangements, basically the phone numbers of places. Let me see. and the receptione. I put receptione. Can you see that? The receptione. Okay, the lady that was gonna do the music, and yeah, the limousine. So the tabs say reception, bride's day, the invite list, songs, and the church plans. And you know, I even had, this is so embarrassing, I even drew like what I would want my the picture frames to look like. I guess the things at the church, the back. Oh my God, I was such a nerd. That's my wedding planner book. And, you know, at the time I was super excited to get married. And as you can tell, I look back and I think, wow, you know, that's amazing that you looked at your life like that. You think you're sad now, wait till the next part. It's funny, the thing that, you know, I'm looking at is my mistakes, you know, and I think that that's what I'm going to offer as a grandparent is, you know, trying to teach my grandkids things that didn't work out in life and things that did, and to definitely try to pass on the right things that you should pass on to your grandkids. But woo, I am definitely emotional already. Oh. So I want to say in 2012, my husband and I, your grandfather, we split up, and it was definitely the hardest time of my life. I'm assuming his life too, and not even, you know, mentioning the kids, because I know that they were devastated. It would have been easy to just, you know, walk away, and, you know, for some people, it's probably right to walk away. You know, you never know what happens behind closed doors. And one thing that I do know that I'm super proud of is the fact that we ended up getting back together, fighting for our marriage, and saved, you know, about 20 years of a family and life. So I'm super proud of that, and it's good to look back and to see the things that we had went through as a couple and the things that our kids went through with us. It was a lot, and I'm pretty sure that you know the whole story by now, bits and pieces from everybody, but that's one thing that I feel is super important, is that you're raised by not just your parents, but your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your cousins, you know, friends, family members, and just everybody gives a piece of themselves to you. And so I don't feel like you're just raised by just your parents. I feel like it's a whole team of people, your teachers, your neighbors, you know, just the list goes on. But you were definitely raised around a lot of love, and a lot of that love is your parents, who are my kids. Of course, I had made baby books that were super, super corny. This this picture came out of a magazine. I was so excited. It says Sasha Danielle's first baby photo album, October 7th. Shows her baptism, the day she was baptized. And just pictures and years. This is when we were in Hawaii for a month. Sorry. I had so much love to give. It was ridiculous. I have something that is super awkward but amazing at the same time. And so this little envelope has something inside of it that I had given my husband when I first found out that I was pregnant. I was picking him up from work at night, and I told him to look into the glove compartment, and I left this envelope in there. And it says, "For my honey, love, Jessica." So he opened it up, and lo and behold is a pregnancy test. This is the actual pregnancy test from when I was first pregnant with my first daughter. And that's awkward, but such a beautiful, beautiful memory that I had with my husband that night. Having my first daughter was very scary too. You know, you're so worried of having a baby and the pain, and you know, you don't know where you're gonna live at, and you know, you don't know how you're gonna afford it. Well, I just felt like as long as we had love, you know, we were gonna be fine, and we had a lot of support. So one thing that I know that you are gonna have is a lot of support, especially from your grandparents. My first daughter She taught me a lot in life, and for some reason I'm not crying right now, but I just want to say that she gave me so much faith and so much strength that, you know, you can overcome so much. And no matter what, family's important, and when something's wrong, you know, something is wrong. And just the strength that she has and how much love she has for everybody is just so huge and so high. And just her goals in her life, she just wants good, and she just wants happiness. And her heart's so sensitive, and I just like to believe that that came from me. But yeah, when I was pregnant with my second child, which I thought was going to be one child, I was wrong. I was completely wrong. It was a set of twins. Sasha, she, you know, of course, you know, you think, you know, your daughter's gonna play with dolls, and she's such a good mother, you know, with her little doll collection. Well, you know, when it came down to it, and when the babies were actually born, Sasha was so great with them, and she took care of them. She, whenever they cried, she was always trying to be their little mom. And she was such a young girl. She was only, you know, just, I want to say a year and a half. I mean, she was born in October. Yeah, I mean, she was 2 when the twins were born, and she was basically in diapers herself. And so I knew right at that moment that she was going to be an amazing mother. And she, not only an amazing mother to her kids, she would be a great aunt, she would be a great friend, and she deserves more than what she has right now. But she's so strong, and I know the second that she has her own family, that her family is going to be so blessed to have her in their life. And I just want nothing but happiness for her. The one thing about having kids is that, you know, when they get older, the daughters always tell you they don't want to have kids because of the pain. Well, I can tell you what, I would go through the pain that I went through over and over again just to have them in my life. I want to read the letter that I wrote to my twins at the time when I thought that they were a single birth. I'll just read it really quick. It was 9/17/99. Okay, dear baby, hello, I love you so much. Right now it is 11:38 p.m. and I found out that I am pregnant. I found out that I was pregnant 30 minutes ago. Well, my name is Jessica. I'm 20 years old. My birthday is on November 27th. Your father's name is Richard Christopher. He will be 20 on October 26th. You also have a big sister named Sasha Danielle. Her birthday is on October 7th. A lot of birthdays. She is a wonderful person. I know you'll love her to death. Most of all, we love you. So will my parents. Your new grandparents are Shirley and Dean. Your aunties and uncles are Britt, Clark, and Laura. You will come into this family so loved so very much. If you are a girl, you'll be named either Ariana, Juliana, Liana, or Alexa. And your middle name will be Deanna, Cheyenne, or Leilani. If you are a boy, your name will be Richard Christopher Brown Jr. Well, I am feeling okay now, but I was gagging all week. Your dad would say, "You can't get pregnant so quick." He's in Valdez on business and will be very surprised. I know he'll be really happy. Well, I love you, little Ariana or Richard. I promise to write as soon as possible. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. And it was a heart. Love ya. Okay, it's so funny how I wanted to name this baby Alexa because I ended up naming them Richard and Nikita. And the twins came early. They were premature by 2 months, right after we were married. And it was probably the scariest time of my life because they were 2 months premature and they weighed 3 pounds, 6 ounces and 3 pounds, 12 ounces. This is the card for when the twins were born. It says, we have twins, Richard Christopher Brown Jr. Well, Nikita's is on hers. And then it just shows their dates. So that was their actual birthday card, or the card when we had the twins. I don't want to say they were unhealthy because they were probably the biggest kids in the NICU. There were some kids that were 1 pound, and these were actually the little card, the little card. What is it? Postcard? The postcard that we were supposed to send when they are healthy. And so we need to send these out. Yeah, hello. They're probably wondering what's going on. And this little cuff right here was for their little arm. And this little tiny cuff right here. So this is what their little arm went in. So basically it was like this. Their arm was that small. They plug it into the machine, pump it up, and check their blood pressure with this. So I have 2 of these. I don't know why I'm holding on to these, but they're so cute. That's probably why. And this is actually the little booties for Nikita that they had sent. They also had a cute little program too, where I guess it was for women that would send in, you know, little items for the babies, which was so amazing and so sweet. The whole time we were there, we were taken care of, and the kids were so healthy, and it just was a great outcome. I do have a memory of how strong one of the kids were. They were gonna have heart surgery because I guess when you're born, something shuts so you can start breathing air. Well, something didn't shut, and so they had to go in and shut it, otherwise the baby would die. Well, I was freaking out, I was praying, I was out of my mind. My husband was freaking out too. We just didn't even know, you know, what would even happen if one of the babies were to pass away. We just had a hard time with it, but we made the doctors check at the last second one more time, just do another little scan just to see if it closed, and lo and behold, it closed. So that was just another sign of you need to advocate for your family. You need to push for the right thing. So thank God the thing closed, and no heart surgery. We ended up having 3 kids, and it was really hard. It was the hardest thing that we've ever done, is have 3 babies, all in diapers, all different birth schedule, feeding schedules. I have one story that's a really funny one that I have to tell. I was breastfeeding both the twins, and I had a huge pillow for them to lay on. And somebody came to visit me, and I kind of lost track of like concentrating on the twins. Sounds like I'm talking about my boobs. And I was talking to my visitor, forgot who it is. And I looked down, and my boobs were actually covering like the whole nose and the mouth of both babies. And I was like, oh my God. And I lifted my boobs up, and they both went. And then I was laughing, and I was freaking out. And then they both smiled like, it's okay, Mom, it's all right. Another baby that I had, I saved his little hair in his little comb set. So there's that. So cute. I had a lot of other things too that I saved that was lost for some reason when we were moving back and forth from Alaska to Spokane. And so that's pretty frustrating to know that that's gone. I even saved a umbilical cord too. I'm that crazy. By the time I had my 4th and my 5th kid, we had a very strong unit of kids in the family, and they pretty much raised each other. They were basically the 3 amigos, and they were super protective of Nicholas and Alexa. And when they were born, we've had the most amazing memories. I remember when Nicholas was born, he came as a surprise, but also he came at a point in my marriage when his birth brought new meaning to our lives, and it reignited the fires, and it made us want to try harder to have our family, and to still put one foot in front of the other, and to keep going. My kids always were so loving with their siblings, each one of them, and so protective. And Ricky finally had a brother, and Nicholas has grown up to be the most amazing person. He was a little Spider-Man. He wore a Spider-Man outfit for a good 5 years. He hates it when I say that, but He Ricky and Nicholas were really great brothers and completely polar opposites. I can't wait to see how their relationship forms. I just can't wait for that. I know it and I believe it in my heart that they are going to be the strongest brothers. Alexa, my baby, she was actually born at a time when my husband and I were the closest we've ever been. Her birth was amazing too. It was very much needed in our family. We felt like we had that one missing piece and she was it. And she's been the light of everybody's life. Everyone has a huge spot for her because, you know, she was the baby in the family, and she's brought my aunt a lot of love, a love that I feel like she needed in her life, and that was beautiful to watch. Alexa, she sticks up for what's right. You know, she's an amazing daughter. I remember going to pick her up. She was doing some community service for her Catholic school recently. I picked her up at a church, and I was looking inside, you know, looking for Alexa to pick her up, to bring her home, and I looked down and I seen her helping somebody and grabbing some food, and I thought, you know, this is one amazing, amazing young girl, and she has such a huge life of amazingness ahead of her. Nikita, you know, she's taught me so much in life. She doesn't like confrontation. She doesn't like to say mean things. She really has to get pushed for her to, you know, speak her mind freely. But she's taught me so much as, you know, to be sweet and to be nice and to treat everybody the same. And she has a very soft heart, and she deserves happiness, and I just want her to meet her husband and him treat her so good, and for her to be happy and secure, and I just really want that for her. Sasha is literally the person in our family who is the most wise. She's the strongest person I'll ever know in my life. I remember one time I was going through something really difficult, really hard time, and I was holding Sasha and was kind of rocking her to sleep, and she saw me crying. She knew I was upset, and all she did was just kind of reach up and she was trying to comfort me. And in that minute, I knew, no matter what happens in my life, this little girl, she's got my back. And she will love me till the day I die. There's nothing better than that. When I look at being a grandmother, I'm not worried, bring it on. I have so much love to offer. I feel that I learned a whole lot being a mother that I know will go forward into being a better grandmother. So things that I would do differently, things, you know, respecting the boundaries with my kids, you know, them being parents. I really want to be really big on that, to not, you know, overstep, you know, my toes. I know that I'm gonna be a on-call babysitter, and I love that idea. I want to get along with my kid's spouse, or if they don't have a spouse, if anybody wants to adopt. I know one of my kids said that they were just gonna adopt maybe, and I would tell them, no, you have to have your own kid too. You know, you can adopt, but you can have your own kid too. Well, I realize I don't need to say stuff like that. You know, if they want to adopt, then they should be able to adopt. I'll love the baby no matter what. I learned so much from my kids, and they're better than I'll ever be. I still to this day learn from them, and I make mistakes. I'm human, but when I do look at my grandkids, I see a bright hope and a bright future. And, you know, one thing that my daughter told me that really hits home is that she has anxiety. You know, both of them have anxiety. A lot of kids have anxiety these days. Well, I agree with that, but I also feel that this world is just not good enough for them, and that's probably why they have so much anxiety. The plans that we have for the future. My husband and I, we have always wanted a huge family. We knew we were going to have so many grandkids, we couldn't even keep up. I'm excited to learn who they are. I'm excited to hold them and to do everything with them, to be at every basketball game, every soccer game, every dance recital, every graduation, baptisms. I want to be present and a part of everything and make my kids proud. And my goal and my plan for every Sunday is to have our family together in our house, smells like Christmas, watching a football game, eating amazing food, playing a board game, and every holiday. Just, it sounds amazing. And I cannot wait till I'm graduated so I could contribute to this family as much as I possibly can and to make up for everything. I just want to be a part of this family and to watch it grow, and everybody's welcome. No discrimination. And I definitely want to be on my deathbed one day when I'm older and have a room filled with the loves of my lives. And yeah, that's pretty much it with my little video to my grandkids in the future. Just know that I love you so much, and you just have no idea how much you are loved and how amazing your parents are. They've been the loves of my lives. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. I'm gonna go cry. I love you. Bye.